Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Ja Rules. It's been a minute since I posted a video, so here I am. I'm feeling a little down today, but you know, that's life, right? So I didn't get much sleep last night. Got some bad news yesterday. So you know, I was enjoying the day at first, watching the game. But later on that evening, I got a little bit of bad news, so kind of dampened my spirits. You know how things go. So anyway, I've been wanting to do this video for a while. First, let me say that I have been posting here and there about having trouble with my furnace. My furnace has been going out for a while, and so finally they've been changing fuses and patching it up basically. So they sent the professional guy over today, seemingly to solve the issue. And he was in here since I think 9 o'clock this morning, didn't leave till about 3. Scraping and chopping and doing whatever. So basically, what he did was he rebuilt part of the furnace or all of it. So I'm thinking, wouldn't it be cheaper to just bring a new furnace and put it in? I don't know. I'm not a professional, but I'm not an HVAC person. So, but anyway, we'll see. Let's hope that this thing lasts and I won't have to keep, calling them in the wee hours of the night, trying to, get some heat up in here. So, okay, I'm trying to do this video without cussing. Okay, I'm gonna do this video without cussing. I'm gonna do it. So I don't know. Several months ago, I watched a video. I watched a episode of Judge Mathis, right? And on his show, he had this lady. She was, obviously a drug addict. She looked like one, and she had suffered great trauma in her life, just terrible trauma. She and her two sisters and stuff. Just a horrible story, typical horrible story. So then people start using drugs, And he asked her, if she had ever been to treatment, and she said she had. And he asked how many times. She's like, maybe 7 or 8 times I've been to treatment. And he asked, have you ever been to any? Did you go to any meetings? Well, only one I was required to. That's what she said. Only one I was required to. And so, he was like, okay, well, if we offered you help today, would you go? And she said no. She said no. He was like, why? And she told the truth, like I haven't really heard many drug addicts say, tell the truth before, but she was like, I'm just not ready. I just don't want to. So what he did was he had to, he basically ended up shaming her. He was like, well, don't you want to live for your family, for your kids? Aren't you afraid that the next time you hit that pipe or whatever, your heart might explode? Or she's like, yeah, yeah, I'm concerned about that. So he was like, okay, so you just love being a crackhead, right? And she was like, yeah, basically, yeah. So he had to shame her into thinking about not only, you got to think about your loved ones. Think about your loved ones. Think about what you're putting your kids through. Think about what you're putting your body and your mind through. You just proud to be a crackhead. And unfortunately, that's what it took for her, because after the show, they did an update, right? And, it showed that she went to treatment. And she did a little video, thanking Judge Mathis for, what he did and sending her to treatment and stuff like that. But, who knows what happened after she left treatment. It's a tough habit to break. I understand addiction is really hard. I get it. I understand it. Believe me, I understand it. So, but at any rate, she still went, right? She went to treatment, and hopefully, she stuck with it, because there is no fun in being a drunk or a drug addict. There just isn't. No matter how much people say they like it or whatever, you really have to think about yourself, and you have to think about your loved ones too. I think back to the time, when I was growing up, we started drinking as teenagers, just having fun, thought we were having fun. And then after a while, it started to be not so fun anymore, not so much fun. And then, then the problems set in. But when you start drinking and doing drugs as a teenager, you're going to have problems because your brain ain't even developed. It's not even fully developed yet. So when you start mixing in alcohol, drugs, and stuff like that, yeah, you're going to be a little bit out of control. I can speak personally for myself because I didn't want to, I started drinking, like I said, at the age of 15 and just out there partying, thinking I'm having a good time. And then when it started becoming problematic, with the blackouts and stuff, it wasn't so much fun anymore. And so then it became hard to quit. Like, how am I going to quit this? I really didn't like being out of control like that, and I knew that there was something better for me in my life, And then once I started having my kids, I wanted something better for them. But when you surrounded by people who all doing the same thing, how are you as a very young person going to affect this change in your life that you really need? And so, thank God, that He heard my prayers and He answered. So it worked for me because I didn't quit the first time I said I was gonna quit. I was all out there just wilding out, just you know, emotionally ill, just messed up in the head, and didn't know a way out until I called on God. So I want to just say to people, and I know everybody in their family, we have, mostly everybody knows what I'm talking about. This issue has touched, a good percentage of people. And so to those who are still doing it, to those of you who are still out there, and I'm talking about, personally, I'm thinking about specific people in my family. And by the way, pray for them. If you know the words of prayer, I don't want just anybody out there saying anything. If you know how to go before the throne of grace, then that's what I'm asking you to do for my family. But hear this: family members, loved ones get tired of y'all out there, you know, getting high, drinking, going to jail, losing all your belongings, losing your place to live, and things like that, losing your jobs, and then you keep calling on the family for help. We are sick and tired of that. Get your ass in some rehab. Please do that because you ain't getting no younger. Please get yourself together because this stuff gets old and it's tired. Don't let the saying goes that, well, they got to hit rock bottom first before they get tired. No, I'm a firm believer that we're going to have to bring the bottom up. We're going to have to bring the bottom up to meet y'all because we sick of this. And you should be sick of it too. Don't you want better for yourself? Now, the Bible talks about, in Proverbs 23, it says that as a man thinketh, of course, it's talking about something else. It's talking about a greedy man, a miserly man who really don't want to share none of his food or anything, right, with people. But it also says that it has different meanings. So if you, the person who's still using and drinking, as a man thinketh, so is he. So if you keep telling yourself, hey, this is the way I am, this is the way I'm always going to be, I'm a drug addict, it's like the self-fulfilling prophecy, right? You keep telling yourself that this is what I am and this is what I'm going to be, then guess what? That's how you're going to continue to live. But the Bible also says that you can be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You can do that. And of course, turn your life over to God. That's one way of doing it. When you start focusing on God, and then you start walking in His way and following the loving example that Jesus has left for us to follow, you will be transformed because you're no longer focusing on those negative things or those old destructive behaviors that you have been doing before. But also there is a neuroscientific benefit to that. Did y'all know that? The neural pathways in your brain. It's like, which one of the pathways is going to have the deeper groove, So if you're constantly feeding this, drug addicted mind and behavior and destructive living, then that neural pathway is going to be deeper, right? But if you change that and you start thinking of positive things, you are transforming your mind in a neuroscientific way, and that's proven to be true. I know this video is a little long, but it's been on my heart to say this, for a while, because trust and believe. Like I said, I'm not the only one. My family's not the only one who has experienced this. I've experienced it personally. I'm still experiencing this through other members and people that I know. And I'm speaking out of love, but also out of frustration, because how do you expect to have a better life if you don't do it for yourself? I mean, family members, we can't expect to do it. We can't want it more than you want it, okay? So, and don't let nobody, Judge Mathis, his way is not clinical, of course, but hey, it's effective. It's been effective. Shame them to death on national TV. Shame them to death, and then maybe that'll get them to rehab. But why take all that? You know, good and well that you have problems. And don't keep telling yourself that this drug, this addiction is too strong for me. I can't beat it. I've been doing it for too long. Don't keep telling yourself that, because I'm a firm believer that if he did it for me, he can do it for you too. So just try and give your family, give your loved ones a break, people who are still suffering. Please, I'm asking you, my friends, family on Facebook, please share this video. I've asked to share videos in the past. You haven't done it. So please, I'm asking you if you would just share this video. You don't even have to comment, because I know people won't even comment, but I would love to hear your comments. However, just, share this video for someone who needs some encouragement. You might need the encouragement. I know I do. So pray for me, pray for my family. Again, only if you know the words of prayer. Don't say already done or I'll pray, because I was told that when somebody asks you to pray, you pray right then and there. You just get it on out the way, okay? So, this is your girl, Lady J. I love you. Let me hear your comments if you feel like sharing any of your experiences, because I'm feeling a little down right now. I could use some encouragement, okay? All right. Peace and love.